there's got to be a little bit more, and I'm going to challenge you on this because I think it's more than just you calling them quickly. Do you feel like did you feel like you established any kind of a relationship with them?
Yes.
Okay, so let's really focus on that a little bit, because I put a post on the Band of Partners today, a quote that says, "We don't sell products, we sell experience." And we live in what's called an experiential economy, which means that for the most part, everything that's available to consumers is pretty much easily obtained via the internet. You can go pretty much anywhere and get the product that you're looking for. So we don't sell anything that's unique, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What is it that you think you provided to Matthew, Xavier, and Richard that made them want to commit to working with you? Because you're abundantly aware that there are other choices that they could have made in deciding who they were going to work with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe that it was just how quickly you returned their call. And I'm challenging you on this because I want you to be more aware and more deliberate in your conversations, because there's something that's working for you. I just want to uncover that.
I'm trying to, I only met with one of them, like, in person.
Okay.
So
who is the one that you met with?
I met with Richard yesterday.
Okay. The other two, you're just doing it's all via the internet or over the phone?
Yes, right now it is.
Okay. Okay. And when you talk about being pre-approved, have they sent you all of their documents?
Not. Oh, no, I don't think so yet on both of them, or all three.
Okay. Okay. So let's stop here for a second and qualify this for a little bit. So when I asked you if the three of these were going to be paychecks in the next 90 days, you said yes. So right now, as it stands, you have one of the three that you've actually met with. Who do you believe that Richard is 100% committed in working with you?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. So do you think that it had something to do with your willingness to meet with them and their willingness to meet with you? Or do you think it was just accidental that Richard has made the commitment to work with you?
I think it was the willingness to meet.
Okay. So when you look at your lead tracker and you look at the 8 people that are on this list, you've gotten some great activity, roughly about a referral a day. There are names on this list that you haven't marked as being a paycheck in the next 90 days, but there are plenty of people on here that you can continue to talk to. My question to you is, when you look at Matthew and Xavier, what's preventing you from meeting with them face-to-face?
I guess I just haven't brought it up yet or asked them if they wanted to.
Okay, so do you consider yourself a professional? I mean, do you consider yourself somebody that values your knowledge and you value the team that your dad has built? Do you see the value of what you do?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Do you believe that people working with you are working with the best choice for their lending needs?
100%.
Okay, so when you go to a doctor's office, do you believe that the doctor gives you the choice of whether or not you come in for an examination, or do they give you a choice to talk to them over the phone?
They want to come in for an examination, for sure.
And why do they want you to come in?
I guess it's a more personal experience.
Okay. Do you think a doctor could really diagnose the issue that you're having if you were just talking to them over the telephone?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, there's a 100% chance that's not going to happen. A doctor's never going to do any kind of diagnosis over the telephone. And here's what the message really is. We don't live in a medical world in relationship to mortgages. What we do, though, is we do have the chance to really project ourselves as being, quote unquote, like a doctor. These 3 people, the one was referred by the TDHCA website, the other one was from a realtor, and the other one was Homes for Heroes. The realtor referral especially, you could absolutely leverage Xavier's relationship with the realtor, which in this case would be, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name either. But the point is that you have somebody that's definitely interested in working with you. If I was looking at this saying that that's going to be a paycheck for me, and I knew that my highest and best use of time was to get that client to meet with me face-to-face because you believe that if a client meets you face-to-face, you have the best chance at solidifying that relationship. Is that fair?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so the goal for you when you look at this list is, I need to get Xavier and Matthew in to meet with me, and I'm not going to say that it's because I need them to. I'm going to make the message about them needing to meet with me because you can't do the job that they're really asking you to do if you do not have a chance to do a face-to-face one-on-one consultation. Not everybody requires a face-to-face, at least from my experience. But if you're trying to build a business and solidify the best chances to convert leads to closable deals, your ability right now to meet with people face-to-face is your highest and best use. Because of who you are, what your system is, you can never properly communicate that over the telephone. I'll give you a case in point. So I've met with thousands of people in my career. And every time, and I'm not joking when I say this, every time that I've met with somebody just over the telephone, 90% of the time I lose the deal. And this is why. Because I don't have both parties. If it's a couple, you only have 50% of the equation on the phone with you at the time that you're talking to them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You never fully get the whole story, and you never fully understand who the decision maker is. If you meet with somebody face-to-face and you require that both people be there, what do you think the chances of you convincing both of them to work with you are?
I mean, a lot higher.
A lot higher.
Yeah.
Because what happens more often than not is that the other half of the equation that's not on the telephone doesn't get all the information, probably ends up being the decision maker of the family, and you run into a lot more complications, and here's when it happens. It happens after you've invested a ton of time into the transaction just to find out that they never really wanted to work with you anyway. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's to your benefit to meet with them face-to-face. So I'm going to urge you over the next couple days that your goal for next week would be to get Matthew and Xavier to meet with you. And it's not because you need them to meet with you, but it's because they need to meet with you because you can't do your job or provide them with the level of service that they are going to expect if you don't have the chance to meet with them face-to-face.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Is that realistic?
It is, yes.
Okay. What about the rest of the names, like Sarah, Sergio, Elizabeth, Dominic, and Jose? Are they all dead deals?
I mean, Sarah's not. That was that was yesterday. She's Spanish speaking.
Okay.
So, she's commissioned, so they're asking for some of her docs now. Sergio, yeah, we'll follow up in a few months.
Okay.
Dominic, same.
What about Elizabeth?
We're just still trying to get a hold of her, but it's only been a couple days.
Got it. And then Jose?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a call today to see if he's done his app yet, because he requested one, but I don't think he's even opened it yet.
Got it. Okay. I'm going to advise that in each of these calls that you work to set the stage up to get them to meet with you. If they're not interested in filling out an online application, give them the chance to say, if you're not comfortable doing that, I would like to open up my office and have you meet with me face-to-face if it makes you feel more comfortable.
Okay, yeah, that.
I want you to spend less time chasing people and more time delivering an experience that they can decide if it's worth it or not. Because if Jose or Elizabeth or Dominic or Sergio or Sarah don't want to meet with you, that says something about their level of commitment and making a decision to do something right now. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
So your goal over the next couple days is to make sure that every one of these people is either a lead or a dead deal. And I think the best way to get through that list is to simply call them up and say, if you're not comfortable doing online application, I would love a chance to meet with you face-to-face. It elevates your consultative skills. It elevates your commitment to be in a relationship with them. And it basically tells them that if they're not willing to meet with you, then there's something that they're not 100% in to either making a decision to buy a home or actually to use you. And at that point, you can move them to a dead deal and move on and focus your energy on the people that have committed to working with you, like Matthew and Xavier. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Completely.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Jamie, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wonderful. You managed to connect. What happened to the computer?
I'm on the computer and I'm also on my cell because I can't hear anything on the computer, which is really weird.
Oh, that stinks. I'm sorry about that. So let's take a look at your lead. Let's take a look at your lead tracker. How's the lead tracker going for you? Looks pretty good.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's going great.
Good. Can I give you some advice on it right now, as far as just the technical side of it?
Yeah.
Where you've identified, where you've put the icons, put them in the A column.
Oh.
If you could put them, and what you need to do in source, go down to the bottom and actually label them based on the row of acronyms that I've listed here. CCR, PCR, PC, because what happens is they'll auto-populate off to the right, and you'll be able to look down here month to month and see exactly where the source of your business is coming from.
Okay, well, I don't know why. I thought I saw that on the one you sent me. I don't know why
here, let's take
it that way.
Yeah, here, hold on a second. I'll show you. So, for example, do you see my computer screen up?
Hold on. I was just changing the spreadsheet. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so see how everything populates to the right?
Yeah.
And not down at the bottom? Row 48 tells me exactly current client referrals, past client referrals, realtors, and so forth. So you can, at a snapshot, scroll through it and go, I know exactly where all my business is coming from and where I need to spend my time. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. So talk to me a little bit about the four leads that you got. So Joe, Matthew, Jared, and Derek. Are 3 of those actually applications?
They gave me all. Yes. They gave actually all 4 of them are applications, not with homes though.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So it's still really, really awesome. You've had 4 referrals in the first 7 days of the month, and you've gotten 4 you've gotten 4 qualified buyers that probably will turn into closable deals in the next 90 days. Is that fair?
That's what I'm hoping.
Wow. Okay. Well, I want to take the hope out of it. So, why do you say you hope?
Because I haven't been doing the lead tracker, but I've been pre-approving people left and right, and so far I haven't gotten any contracts, and I'm like really discouraged. I think we've talked about that. Okay.
Yep. I totally get it. Do you have every referral that you've gotten over the last 60 days listed anywhere? March and April, is that everybody?
March has, I need to add a few more people to that.
Okay.
Like the
here's priority number 1. You've got to make sure that every lead that you've originated is on this lead tracker in its respective month. That's the first step. The second step is that you need to go through and properly identify where each of those leads are at. Dead deal, possible lead, application set, and under contract. Okay?
Yeah. Remember, I went back to November and did that.
Yep. Awesome.
And I just had to catch up on last week of March, I think.
No problem. All right. So, and here's why. You have, because of the limited amount of referrals that you have the freedom to invest a lot of energy into these people.
Yeah.
What you need to do is give yourself 100% freedom to get rid of the word hope in what you just said. I don't want to hear that from you because you're way too gifted in relationships to believe that you have to hope that they work with you. Do you believe that they're
Yeah, I think they're going to work with me. It's just there's been one issue. Some people have put multiple offers in, and they just have not gotten the contract accepted yet. So
Okay. So even then you say you think they're going to work with you.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Okay. So if I was to call up each of the people that you've listed on your lead tracker for the last 2 months, would each of them know that you are 100% counting on them to refer you to somebody in the life that they care about?
Say that again.
If I
Would
was
each
to
of them-
call up each of these people on your last 2 months of leads, would each of them know that you are 100% counting on them to refer you to somebody they care about?
I don't know.
Okay. Therein lies, and I'm going to say this as politely as I can, therein lies the struggle that you're facing on a day-to-day basis. You've got all this activity. You've got enough activity where you could build strong relationships with people and make your life easier in the busier months if you just took the time and made that your priority. The reason the presentation is so powerful is that it actually takes the load off of you having to go out there and find business every single day, and it puts the responsibility on all the people that have met with you and that have talked with you. And the reason that that's so meaningful is that now you can spend the time developing deeper and more meaningful relationships with these people as they go through the process and not have to still worry about going out there and driving in more business. You still can do that, but then you've got 12 to 15 people actively looking for homes who more than likely are talking to other people about them buying a home. You know, it's the reticular activator scientific concept that if you drive a black car, you notice everybody else who's driving a black car. If you're wearing a red dress, you notice everybody else who's wearing a red dress. When you're out buying a home, you notice and listen and find people that are buying homes. It is to your benefit, it is to your advantage to make that agreement part of your presentation with every single one of these people, because out of those 12 or so people that you've talked to over the last 2 months, there's probably 3 referrals waiting there for you if you were to guarantee that every one of these people knows that you're counting on them. Plus, it gives you the freedom to go back to them and ask them for help. But more importantly, every time you communicate with them, you're not communicating with them with just an empty request. You're calling them because you genuinely care. You told them that you're going to be counting on them, and the way you do business is built on making them feel compelled to want to tell other people about you. I know it's kind of heady when I say that, but the truth is that you know right now, as they go out looking for homes, you know that they're being bombarded with other offers from other lenders. Whether they've typed it up on their Facebook page, whether they're looking at it on the internet, whether they're watching it on television, you know that they have other choices through the mortgage process, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You would be fooling yourself if you did not take that extremely seriously and made it abundantly clear to yourself that the best way to insulate you against anybody else trying to take them away from you while they're out looking for homes is to make sure that they understand why you are the best choice for them. And I'm sure you've communicated something, but I don't believe that they know how much you care about them, because they don't realize that you're counting on them to refer you to somebody that they care about. And it's really powerful when you look back and go, yeah, I've got 15 people on my lead tracker that all know I'm counting on them for a referral. And now when you do your personal acknowledgement notes or your thank you cards, or when you're out there communicating with them and giving them updates or giving them, you're just touching base. You're not touching base with them because you're trying to get them to close on a home. You're touching base with them because their relationship with you and their happiness level with you is everything. Do you see how that might be different than how we've done it in the past?
Yes, and I totally agree with it. And I feel like, just to be quite frank,
Yep.
It's like almost overload, and I'm serious, honestly, out there giving it my best, and I'm trying to memorize all this stuff and implement it with the realtors, and I feel like I've got it down with the realtors, and now I feel like, okay, now I really got to focus on the relationship.
Yep.
I
Good.
feel like I have good relationships with my customers anyways, that they
Yep.
genuinely like me just because of
Yeah.
me. But like you
Yep.
said, I got to take it to that next level. And I feel like I'm getting there. I'm not there yet, but I'm trying to get there.
I want you to listen to something that I heard recently. Did you guys know that Walt Disney got fired from the newspapers because they said he had no imagination?
Yeah, I heard that. Mhm.
Did you know that Oprah Winfrey got fired from television because they said that she wasn't good for TV?
Mm. Wow.
And you know that Michael Jordan got kicked off. He got cut from his 9th grade basketball team.
Amazing.
This is a marathon. It took me years to finally hone in the skills to make it deliberate and consistent and really master it. There's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. You know, the knowledge that we have is all based on information we receive. Wisdom is actually taking that knowledge and applying it to our daily life and using it in ways that actually makes our life better. I don't expect this to be something that you pick up in a couple months. This is something that will develop over time. I want the message to be clear for you, though, is that every chance that you have to sit in front of a client and or a realtor, and that message is your brand and that message is your priority, you will find that your clients like you because of who you are, but they will fall in love with you and commit to working with you because of how you make them feel. And that comes from the words that you say. And the reason that's so important is because over the next several months, Jamie and Mike, you guys are going to be in the busy season, correct? I mean, we're coming into the season when once school gets out, it's going to be a free-for-all. You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
You're going to have very limited time to go out there and cold call on realtors and do Thor's hammer, and it's going to be busy, especially with the amount of leads that I'm seeing you guys get currently. So one of the best ways to make sure that that momentum doesn't fall off when the busy season ends is to make sure that every one of your clients that you're working with knows that you're counting on them to refer you. Because after they become past clients, they're still going to be out there referring you. I'm still, and it's been 3 years, I'm still getting referrals from my database. I'm still getting people calling me asking me for mortgages. And I not only have I not touched base with them, they're actually being solicited by somebody else, and they're still calling me. And I attest that to simply making sure that every client knew what my brand was. And the brand was making them so thrilled and so happy because I managed their fears, I consulted with them, and I told them that I was counting on them. And as I worked in the loans, as I ran my business, I didn't have to worry about finding new agents to work with unless I wanted to. This is the point of when you're in the trenches right now, if you guys are going to be LOs, make it worth your time. Make it worth the time that you invest in your clients. Make it turn into something valuable to you, which is another lead, which is another referral. That's the message that I want you guys to have as we go into May, June, July, August, and September. Because when the business slows down at the end of the busy season, you're going to find yourself wishing you had gone back and had all these conversations with every one of these clients, because it makes it so much easier to circle back around with them and touch base and go, hey, I was just thinking about you. It was a great summer. How's the new house working out? Blah, 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 blah. And they understand why you're calling. And you don't have to ask them for anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, absolutely.
So what's working for you? I see Christy Ramey is referring you some solid deals. What's working for you over the last couple months?
Well, that's part of the group of realtors, Keller Williams, where I went in with Mabel Cologne. Actually, I got her referrals in. She sent me probably 4 referrals, but they were all they just have decided not to buy right now, 2 of them, and one's
fine.
just different reasons. There's nothing's going to happen with them, and then 2 others.
35%. We're trying to bat 35%. That's all we're after. That means 7 out of the 10 leads that you're getting are going to be no good, which is okay. 35% of your leads, it almost is a guarantee. That's where the numbers game comes in. So your relationship with the realtors
Mm-hmm.
is going good?
Yeah, it's going great. There,
So-
Mabel actually referred me to, she's referring me to new realtors that are coming in, and
Okay.
writing my name for me.
Awesome. So what do you think is working well for you? Like, what's that one thing that you're doing that you can attest all of your business to? There's got to be one thing.
Well, I know for a fact what you told me about, what you taught us about and setting up the stage for the coffee appointments and
Yep.
how we deal with the real. I know that made a huge difference because, I really I've called them, I've followed up with them, but I know that number one has just made a difference. So,
So what would you say? So it's the wording that you're using?
And the follow-up, the wording
Okay.
and the follow-up. Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe it's your conviction now? Do you feel a lot more confident when you speak to realtors?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I think my
Definitely.
words sure have a piece to it, but I think confidence is what you're finally displaying maybe, and your confidence and your conviction about what you believe, because you now can put what you feel into words. Is that kind of what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what your brand is quickly becoming, and this is what works for you, is that when you meet a real person face to face, you have a very high likelihood of getting them to want to work with you, not only just because you do a really good job, but because now you can articulate what you feel and what your audience typically is trying to figure out about you as well. Meaning you guys are now seeing eye to eye. There's a connection there, and they can see why they want to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to work with you because of your products anymore, do they? They're not asking you about your products, and they're not asking about your turn times, are they?
No, as a matter of fact, I had Joe that called me yesterday, and when we were on the phone, I was on the phone with his mother, who's actually buying the house.
Uh-huh.
They had been referred to me by Christy, and the other lender said they couldn't get it done. But I knew that they had a car payment coming up in less than 1 month that would be less than 10 payments, and we don't have to
Yep.
count it. And I'm like, wow, this is my
Yep.
competition out there, really?
Yep.
And
Yep.
and she started asking me about rates. And I'm kicking myself in the butt because she asked me what the APR was, but I figured I would have that conversation at a later time with her.
Yep. Yep.
And Joe called me, her son, and said, what's the APR? What is that? So questioning me. And I'm like, Joe, honestly, you guys came to me and the other lender couldn't get it done. And if no one else can get it done, it really doesn't matter what my rates are. And I said, I'm not going to be the highest and I'm not going to be the lowest. I'm going to be somewhere in the middle. But if somebody else can't get it done and I can, then what does rate matter anyways? And he's like, yeah, you're right. I was like, come on.
That is by far the most ballsy answer that I've heard in a long time. Good for you. Good for you. Way to stop being a commodity. Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah. It's the truth. If someone else doesn't have the brains or the experience and the knowledge to know how to get loans done and get them approved, then that's their fault, not mine.
Exactly.
That's my competition out there, and that's where I'm going to run all over them.
That's right. And that speaks to that little story is exactly the story that you share with your realtors when you sit down with them, when you talk about why they work with you. You have the knowledge. There's no question that that's a part of it. But when you sit down and tell your realtor base that you have an understanding of the industry and that you've had recent experiences where people are making silly mistakes, and the reason why you're so knowledgeable is because you can understand the value of the amplifying of a relationship. I want to be able to give my clients the truth and the right answers so that even if I can't do the loan, they're getting the best information. You can trust that if I tell you I can't do it, nobody can. If I tell you that somebody else is better at doing it, trust me when I tell you that somebody else is better at doing it. And when somebody challenges you on rate, you can look at them square in the eye and go, I understand that that's important to you, but isn't buying a house more important to you than a $20 or $30 variance in your payment? Good for you. Good for you.
Yep.
Did you set the stage with Joe? Did you set the stage with his mom? You didn't.
I'm trying to remember.
You didn't. You didn't.
Well, I'm trying to, honestly, they called me and it was after hours and I had my kids in the car and
Yep.
I was, it was a mess. So I probably
Sure.
didn't.
Sure. Okay, so this is a chance for you, like I talked to Mike. You still have a chance to go back to the people that are on this list in April and even your pre-approvals and circle back with them, and this is just another contact. We may or may not have had this conversation, but I wanted to share something with you. I want you guys to know why I do what I do, and that's really the truth. You want them to understand where you're coming from when you ask them for the things that you ask them, when you talk to them about the things you talk to them about, and why you are so uberly concerned about the overall process when most people in this industry aren't. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And I would simply go into the triangle of trust. I would go into amplifying the relationship between Christy and Joe and Matthew. I would go into the triangle of trust with Jared and Derek and make sure they all understand, because even now, before they bought a home, you still can capture their attention so they understand why you do what you do. And that's going to benefit you because raving fans during the process become raving fans after the process. And wouldn't it be nice to know that every time you closed a client, they're out there telling somebody else about you? Isn't that kind of a cool feature?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great that if next week you got 2 current client referrals from people that were actively working with you?
Yeah. I actually
And
got
what do
a
you think?
referral from,
Yep.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I got a referral from a client that I closed like 3 years ago, and I called her like, "You're my raving fan. You're one of my raving fans." It was just unbelievable. I haven't talked to her in a very long time. We're friends on Facebook, but that's it. And she just had somebody walk up to her the other day, and she's like, "You need to call Jamie. You need to call Jamie."
Here's the piece of making sure that that message is out there. If your clients are agreeing to refer you and you get a referral, what's the likelihood that they're going to go to another lender?
Very slim.
0. It's 0. If you get a current client referral from one of the people that you have on your list, it is literally a 0% chance that they're going anyplace else. You solidified that relationship so well that they referred you somebody they cared about. Not only is the lead free, but it guarantees you that both referrals, both transactions, are almost guaranteed to close under your name. That should be the motivation behind everything. That you no longer have to fear them being solicited or persuaded to go someplace else. They're going to work with you because they not only like you, they trust you, but they're entrusting your abilities into one of the people they care about. There's nothing better. Not only does it make you feel awesome, but it confirms that what you're doing is the right way. You guys got me?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm proud of both of you guys. Jamie, finish filling out your lead tracker for March and finish up for April, and then send it over to me. Michael, and Michael, I know, are you really just a full-time LO now for your branch, or are you still doing loan partner duties?
I'm LO. I've never done loan partner.
Oh, okay. So you're 100% on the sales side.
Yeah.
And how many years have you been doing this?
It's like August.
Okay, so under a year, right?
Yeah.
Awesome job, brother. You got to feel really, really good about your results. I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome job. Awesome job. Both of you guys, I'm very proud. I will send out the replay when I'm done. If you guys have any questions, give me a call. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Enjoy the time with your family and friends, and I will talk to you guys next week. Keep up the good work, guys. All right, guys. See ya.